Okay, we're back again, and this time I just want to do a couple of small things to clean up a little bit. The first one is that I want to rate limit this properly. So currently the way that I'm rate limiting is by this. If we haven't advanced the PTS, then we just throw out the compositing that we did, or the blending that we did. I guess it's compositing, whatever. We throw out the work that we did. That's kind of a really dumb way of doing it because we still do the work. So we should be able to um, I believe it's do the work, sleep, send it out, loop, repeat. And actually, before I do that, I was reading a little bit more about atomics, and even though you can set to them without using the atomic instructions, without using the atomic store and atomic load, it's not clear to me. Where is it? It's in pipe video, right? Here we go. It's not clear to me if the compiler is allowed to optimize out this that write or not. Exactly which instruction is emitted via the tear down equals that is not clear to me, at least. And what I'm wondering is if it's allowed to do that as a regular load rather than atomic load, which usually would be fine by me. But secondly, I'm wondering if it's allowed, if it can prove that this variable is never accessed in this thread again, if it's allowed to optimize it out. Now, the compiler shouldn't be able to prove that because it is actually used again in this thread. But I'm not going to take that chance. And that was in pipe audio, so let's go pipe video. And we'll do the same thing here. Do we have any other atomic variables here? We've got next and start, which are never accessed again in this thread. Where are they actually set though? Here's start. Yeah. So these are never accessed again in this thread. So that may be a problem. I don't know. And I don't think end is a problem. No, that's fine. Okay. Alright, so that should be the first one. Process video, just quickly check. This should definitely be atomics. It could be fetched adds, right? That's interesting. That's interesting. Where does start come from? This is busy loops. Atomic fetch adds. That fetch and adds next. Ooh. Ah, here we go. We do an atomic load. The other thing is I want to change these to be explicit, and I want them to be, I think it's like memory order. Huh. Does that compile? Yeah, okay. Because these don't need to be, I mean, they should be a memory order release anyway. Because the default, I think the default for sequentially consistent is to make it a release, but it actually, it does a little bit more than that. But we don't need it to do the more. So that's a release. That's fine. I don't think we ever need anything other than a release. And that should be explicit. Acquire. Yeah, so now this can't be moved up there, right? Not that it could have before. What is this for? Where's this? I think that prevents anything from there being moved down here, right? The interesting thing is that it doesn't prevent this from being moved up here. But I think that's fine. No. It's not. I feel like before I start, I need the... Isn't there another threading library in C that's like not that bad as pthreads? It's maybe in C11. Yeah, I feel like the compiler is allowed to move this up here. I don't want it to do that because I don't think there's a dependency on this anywhere in here. The problem is you know what, I could purposefully move that down here. That doesn't change anything. The problem is the thread that creates this can also destroy it. The thread that makes this valid can make it invalid. And so there's no way to know using just a single variable whether we should wait for the validity to happen. I feel like I do want this to be sequentially consistent. Like, I don't think that's a release. I think that is actually a sequential consistency because I want that store to happen. I don't know if that's going to work, but I want that store to happen before this load. So I think I do actually want sequentially consistent on that one. And we got another load here. Do these need to be sequentially consistent for start? I don't think so, because I think we do a busy loop on it. I don't think it matters. I think this one can be... I think this one can be a memory order acquire. I'll clean this up at some point. Right? How does the no, not process X events. It's like process video or something. Yeah. So how does start work here? We wait for something to be available. Atomic load valid. I think this one might have to be sequentially consistent as well. Wait, this is for video output? When is this thread spawned? The valid ones might actually need to be sequentially consistent. Oh, hang on. We actually set valid after spawning this thread. That's curious. That's a choice. I'm moving these up here. I want to spawn these workers afterwards. And I think the valids do actually need to be sequentially consistent. I'm not 100% on that, but the valids I think do. I don't think this needs to be. This should be able to be explicit. Okay, I'm getting a bit lost in the weeds of atomics here. Does this still compile? Okay, fantastic. We'll come back to that. We half-assed it. We'll come back to it. Because what I really want to do is I want to do that, where is it? Blend? No, that's in composite, right? Yes. Which is in render extreme. Here we go. What I really want to do is make this not shit. So if we have a struct times spec previous render and I guess like next, is that what we need? So the previous time, and I'm putting my foot down, there can only be one FPS, not one for every output. So down here we'll go previous equals, did I call it current? No. Previous equals whatever this is, T. And then what we're going to do is we're going to composite the next frame. That needs to be current. So we'll composite the next frame. And then we'll go timer spec add. Is that what it is? I think it might be time spec add. Yeah, so time spec add. And I think it's A plus B equals C. Can never remember. Add B and A and so C equals A plus B. Okay, sure. So I want to go previous plus So the previous time plus something, put it into this temp variable for me. And that something needs to be FPS, I guess. And FPS should be determined by the video output. So there really should be a new one for everything. No, not allowed. Disqualified. We'll start off FPS at 0, 0. Well, we'll just do 0, it's fine. And then what I want to do is I want to sleep until that. The thing is, I also want there to be more than one frame out at a time. That's the thing. I want to be able to put 2 frames out. So I kind of want this to be FPS over 2. Is that what I want? Not really.